Welcome back to a special edition of SCZ Live. We're here back of house or behind the scenes with Ann Nystrom, who is our zoological manager with the bird department. Ann, tell us what's happening here.
All right, so you're joining us today for our annual flamingo move. Our exhibit is not predator proof, and so in order to have our flocks breed safely, we breed them to this off exhibit area. Typically we do it with one flock at a time, but as you see this year we're bringing both species back here, and that is due to the construction with the new entry. The construction's going to get right up next to their exhibit, so we wanted them to have a little bit of peace and quiet. So we're splitting the two flocks by species. On your right you have Caribbean flamingos, and on your left are the greater flamingos. There's also some ducks hanging out with the greater flamingos. Those are all birds that are going to eventually go to other zoos that have been hatched here, and they're just waiting for their turn to travel to their new home. So the keepers are bringing the birds in one at a time and releasing them, allowing the birds to find their feet before they let them go. So hopefully the birds have a nice, easy release. But flamingos do have really long legs, so you might see every once in a while one stumbles a little bit, but they usually recover pretty quickly. Stephanie here has one of our greater flamingo chicks from last year, so you can see that it's still not quite pink. Flamingos don't get their full pink coloration until they're about 3 years of age.
And what predators do we worry about?
The predators that we worry about here at the zoo are mostly raccoons with the flamingos, but also mink. We do have mink here in the Wichita area. We also have skunks and opossums here on zoo grounds. Those animals don't typically bother the birds, but they will steal some food every now and again. But it's mostly the raccoons and the minks that we worry about as far as mammalian predators. But also great horned owls are really efficient predators, and so we have to make sure to protect the birds from that as well. You'll see this space that the birds are in is divided into two halves, kind of a mirror image. Each side has a stool. If you're looking at it and going, hey, that kind of looks like a familiar shape, that's because it's a greenhouse frame that we bought as a package deal. And then instead of covering it with greenhouse material, we've covered it with a 1x1 coated wire mesh. And then that mesh extends down below the ground, and there's also a large board that goes underneath the ground, and that prevents digging. And then it's completely covered, so that prevents anything from getting in over the top.
And there's a comment that people didn't realize how vocal they were.
Yes, that is why I have a microphone on. They are very loud. If we want, we can step over into the trailer,
okay,
and you can see the birds that are still in the trailer, and you'll get a better understanding for how loud flamingos can actually be when they're in an enclosed space.
Some of you all might remember Hannah from the Kias, and I loved seeing that the flamingos were picking at her hair as well.
So this is just our stock trailer that we use here at the zoo for transferring all kinds of animals, including this flock of flamingos. It's a short trip, so we don't have to worry too much about padding it up on the inside or anything. And the birds are actually really used to this. If you are following us on Instagram today, because we're also doing a Takeover Tuesday on this, we're going to have some video up later showing you just how calm the birds are when they're in that trailer. We've been doing this now, as long as I've been here, probably a little bit longer, so probably about 15 years now we've been bringing the birds back here for their breeding seasons. This iteration of the pen was built in 2014, and it's served us really, really well.
What are our age ranges?
Well, we have chicks from last year, so not quite 1 year old. Most of them hatch in June and August, so not quite 1 year old yet. And then our oldest known bird was hatched in, I believe, the 70s, so he's in his 40s. We do also have some birds, or gosh, almost his 60s. Math is hard, guys.
That's why you need to stay in school and do your math, kids.
Make sure you're doing those studies. We do have some birds that we don't know how old they are. They were birds that were brought in from the wild. So we estimate that they're probably in their like 20s though.
How can you tell the males from the females?
So males typically are larger, both taller and heavier bodied than females. However, that's not a good enough indicator to say one is a male or a female, because you do have some overlaps. You can have a small male or a large female. So we do a blood sexing test and send that out, and the lab will then spin it down and get the DNA from that blood, and then from that DNA they can tell us if it's a male or a female. The flamingos don't always enjoy being handled.
Hi, Phil.
They are very, we like to call them sassy. We like the sassy birds.
It's the great flamingo move, Charlie Brown.
It is.
That's what Fred says. Fred will make sure and tell Emma you said hi.
So for those of you just joining us, this is us moving our 2 flamingo flocks off exhibit, both for their breeding season and then also because the entry construction is right up next to their exhibit. And things are starting to gear up there, so it's going to start to get a little louder, it's going to start to get a little more busy, we hope, and so we're just moving everybody right now. Normally we leave birds on exhibit at all times so that there are birds there for you guys to see when you come into the zoo. We know that the flamingo exhibit is a favorite gathering spot for people when they first come to the zoo. I hear all the time, "We'll meet you at the flamingos." And we love that because we think that they are amazing birds. Not just because they're beautiful, but because of their unique adaptations.
What do the flamingos eat here at Sedgwick County Zoo?
Well, if Shanae wants to pan on over to these tubs, well, there's a lock in there, but this is flamingo chow, flamingo pellets. This is our breeder pellet. We have 2 different kinds, breeder pellets and then maintenance pellets. These are manufactured by a company called Missouri that makes a lot of different kinds of food for zoo animals. It has the carotenoids already inside of it that the flamingos need to produce those pink feathers. If they didn't have those nutrients in their diet, they would not be pink, they would just be white.
I know for our K-State fans out there, we've always wished we could get them purple, but no such luck.
And that's kind of a good segue to me talking about why they are different colors. So you'll see the birds closer to you are the Caribbean flamingos, and they're a much more vibrant pink, kind of a salmon or coral color. And so that's kind of the bird that most people are familiar with, because these are the ones that we can sometimes see down in Texas and Louisiana. The birds behind them are greater flamingos. They are found in the Mediterranean region, so you can actually find them in the southern part of France, but also the northern part of Africa. And they are just as pink, and if you watch when they open their wings, most of their bright color is right there on their wings. This time of year they will actually get more pink. The Caribbeans as well are getting more vibrant, and that's part of their display to each other for breeding season, to indicate that they're in prime condition and that they would be a good partner.
I love how quickly they're all calming down and relaxing.
Yep, like we said, these guys come back here every year. Most of our chicks have hatched right here, so this is exactly where they hatched. And it's like they're returning to their breeding grounds. It's actually kind of a nice mirror of what happens in the wild. Flamingos are not migratory in the way we think of migratory birds here in the state of Kansas that move from way down in South America up into Canada for their breeding. But flamingos do migrate around their range for following food, but also for breeding. They have very particular needs for building their nest mounds, which you can see we still have some nest mounds from last year that they're going to add to. They need a specific type of soil and clay mix, and then they need it to be near water. But that doesn't always match up with where the food is available. So flamingos will move around quite a bit to follow the food, but also to go to the good spot for nest building. And you can see these Caribbeans are already taken to those nests. That's exactly what we're going to see. All this rain has probably gotten them very excited. They need that mud to build their nest mounds, so spring is a great time for flamingos.
Abra here has an exceptionally vocal flamingo.
Yeah, and this is one of the projects that we get the whole bird department together. So you're seeing keepers from Australia, South America birds, as well as the tropics bird team. We get together to help each other out on large projects like this. Many hands make light work.
We're just enjoying all the vocalizations here right now, everybody. You can see that plethora of color. How many flamingos do we have, Ann?
We currently have 103 flamingos,
Wow.
52 Caribbeans, and 51 greater flamingos. We're hopeful that after this breeding season that we've increased those numbers. We'll just have to wait and see what the birds do.
And do they have multiple partners, or do they pair up with just one each season?
So within a season, they're going to pair up with just one bird. But that doesn't mean that they'll go back to that same pair the following season. We track all the parents of all of our chicks. That's what the leg bands are for. You can see each bird has a colorful leg band that identifies it as a unique individual. So we will monitor them very closely, and then we know who is the parents for each chick. So it's actually kind of funny because over the years we've watched pairs hang out together for several years, and then they've broken up, and then they have repaired, and that's okay.
And now with the leg bands, I see we have different colors and different numbers. What do those mean?
So for us, the different colors mean typically hatch year. So all the chicks that hatch this year will have the same colored leg band. That just kind of helps us differentiate cohorts a little easier.
Color coding, I love it.
Yeah.
All the educators out there, you'd love the color coding here at Flamingos. For those of you just joining us, we're at the Great Flamingo Move of 2020. Our flamingos here at Sedgwick County Zoo have been moved off exhibit to their back of house breeding areas. We do have 103 flamingos total, and both Caribbeans and Graders. And you can see those nest mounds right there that they'll start to then build up and lay their eggs on.
And flamingos only lay one egg at a time, one chick at a time. If that first egg is not successful, they will lay a second egg within a season. But you'll never have twin flamingos. That's a juvenile bird. He's still a little sassy.
I like it. Sassy flamingos. Just what everybody would have thought.
It looks like we're getting close to the last few birds coming out of the trailer.
Well, I want to thank everybody out there for joining us for this special edition of SCZ Live as we've moved our Caribbean and Greater flamingos from our on-exhibit habitat to our off-exhibit breeding facilities. Don't forget to come back with us at 2 o'clock today where we're at the vet hospital looking at the elephant blood draw that we took today at 11. Thanks, everybody, and have a great day.